Towering above the clouds at 8,848 meters, Mount Everest has long been the ultimate test of human endurance. For decades, it was believed that only the strongest men could survive its brutal conditions. But in 1975, one woman shattered expectations and carved her name into history. This is the incredible story of Junko Tabei, the first woman to climb Mount Everest and the first woman to complete the 7 summits. Born in 1939 in the small town of Miharu, Fukushima, Japan, Junko Tabei grew up in a world recovering from World War II. Her family was not wealthy, and in a society where women were expected to prioritize family over personal ambition, her love for the mountains was seen as unusual. But at just 10 years old, Junko experienced something that would change her life forever. A school trip to Mount Nasu. The rugged peaks and fresh mountain air sparked something deep within her. She knew that climbing was her calling. Despite her passion, Junko faced societal barriers. In post-war Japan, mountaineering was an expensive and male-dominated sport. Most climbing groups discouraged female participation, and many of her male peers dismissed her ambitions. But Junko was undeterred. In college, Junko studied English literature, but her heart remained in the mountains. She joined a mountaineering club where she quickly gained a reputation for her endurance and skill. Yet, she still faced gender-based discrimination. Frustrated with the lack of opportunities for women in climbing, she took matters into her own hands. In 1969, she founded the Ladies Climbing Club, Japan's first all-female mountaineering team, with the motto, "Let's go on an overseas expedition by ourselves." The club faced an uphill battle. They had little funding, and climbing equipment was expensive. The women sewed their own gear and even used recycled car seat padding to make sleeping bags. Their determination, however, was unstoppable. After years of climbing in Japan and abroad, Junko and her team set their sights on the ultimate challenge, Mount Everest. In 1975, she was selected to lead the first Japanese women's Everest expedition. But there was one major hurdle: money. Sponsorships were hard to come by, and the climbers had to find creative ways to fund the trip. Some of the women took extra jobs, while Junko herself gave up buying new clothes for years to save money. The journey was grueling. Unlike modern expeditions which rely on advanced gear and technology, Junko's team faced Everest with only basic equipment and sheer determination. Then, disaster struck. At 6,300 meters, an avalanche buried their camp, trapping Junko under the snow. She lost consciousness. When she awoke, she found herself being dug out by Sherpas. Most climbers would have turned back after such a near-death experience, but not Junko. Just 12 days later, despite injuries, she continued her ascent. Step by step, in the thin, oxygen-starved air, Junko pushed forward. And then, it happened. On May 16, 1975, she became the first woman in history to stand on the summit of Mount Everest. At that moment, she wasn't just representing herself. She was proving to the world that women could achieve anything they set their minds to. For most people, reaching the top of Everest would be the pinnacle of their career. But for Junko, it was only the beginning. She set an even greater goal: to climb the highest peak on each continent, known as the 7 Summits. Mount Everest, Asia, 8,848 meters, 1975. Her historic first ascent as the first woman to conquer Everest. Aconcagua, South America, 6,961 meters, 1987. A mountain known for its brutal winds and extreme altitude, but Junko conquered it with resilience. Denali, North America, 6,190 meters, 1988. One of the coldest and most dangerous climbs, with unpredictable weather and steep icy slopes. Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa, 5,895 meters, 1989. Unlike other peaks, Kilimanjaro required a long trek rather than technical climbing, yet Junko embraced the challenge. Mount Elbrus, Europe, 5,642 meters. 1989, a snow-covered giant in Russia, where she had to navigate dangerous crevasses. Vinson Massif, Antarctica, 4,892 meters. 1991. The remote icy wilderness of Antarctica made this one of her most difficult expeditions. Carstensz Pyramid, Oceania, 4,884 meters. 1992. A peak requiring rock climbing skills, proving her versatility as a mountaineer. With this, Junko made history again, proving that limits exist only in the mind. Junko's achievements were not just about personal glory. She was deeply concerned about the impact of tourism and mountaineering on the environment. She led cleanup projects on Everest, advocating for sustainable climbing practices. She also dedicated her life to inspiring future generations, especially women. She believed that climbing wasn't about competition, but about personal growth and connection with nature. Junko once said, "I climbed not to compete with men, but to challenge myself." She didn't just conquer mountains, she conquered the barriers that held women back. Her story reminds us that no dream is too big. What's your Everest? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you were inspired by Junko's story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more incredible tales of adventure. See you in the next video.